Denny Hamlin just walked out of Dover Motor Speedway with a $1 million check in his hand, smoke still rising from somebody else's wreckage behind him. But as dominant as he looked on that concrete 1-mile oval, the most Denny Hamlin thing about the whole afternoon happened after the race, not during it. And it tells you everything you need to know about exactly who this man is. We will absolutely get there. First, let's talk about what Dover's Monster Mile looked like on Sunday, because this was not a normal race day. This was the first time the NASCAR All-Star Race had ever been held at Dover Motor Speedway, and the format alone was already designed to cause maximum chaos. 2 75-lap qualifying segments, then a 200-lap finale to decide who takes home the million. The twist on top of the twist, the finishing order from those first 2 segments got inverted to set the starting grid for the final. So the driver who raced worst in the opening acts started at the front of the most important segment. That kind of format does not reward clean, conservative racing. It punishes it, and Sunday afternoon at the Monster Mile was proof of exactly that. Denny Hamlin grabbed pole position for the opening segment in qualifying on Saturday, in arguably the most Hamlin way possible. He spun his number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota on the warm-up lap, recovered, and then turned in the fastest time of anyone in the field to steal pole from Brad Keselowski by just 0.149 seconds. Typical Hamlin. Chaos goes in, pole position comes out. The race itself did not wait long to introduce its own chaos. On lap 2, Ryan Preece got caught 3 wide in a battle near the back of the pack at the famous Dover concrete. He and Kyle Larson made contact, and what followed was a 9-car crash so violent that Preece's car backed into the outside wall and erupted into flames on the front stretch. Ryan Preece walked away without injury, which is the most important detail, but the carnage it left behind was historic in scale. Kyle Larson, a driver who had been locked into the final segment based on his 2025 championship status, was dragging damaged sheet metal back to the garage. Ryan Blaney was in the same position, 2 of the most dangerous drivers in the sport, eliminated from the main event before the first segment even settled. That was crash number 1. Crash number 2 came at the end of that opening 75-lap segment, and it was somehow worse. A massive front stretch accident took out Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek, and Chris Buescher all in the same incident. Chase Elliott, who had been locked into the finale, could not make repairs in time. Kyle Busch, also locked in, chose not to return. The All-Star race had just lost 6 of its biggest names before the feature event even started, and the remaining field was a patchwork of damaged cars and rattled crews making desperate repairs in the garage, hoping to limp back out for the 200-lap finale. Bubba Wallace won the first segment over Hamlin and Ross Chastain. Tyler Reddick, the current NASCAR Cup Series points leader and co-owned by Hamlin himself through 23 SI Racing, won the second segment over Chase Briscoe and Hamlin. Those results gave Hamlin the best average finish across the 2 opening acts, which handed him the pole for the 200-lap main event. His teammate Chase Briscoe started alongside him on the front row. This was about to become an internal JGR problem. The finale started with Briscoe putting legitimate pressure on Hamlin from the jump. These 2 shared the same garage, the same engineering data, the same Toyota horsepower package, and Briscoe was not showing up to play a supporting role. When a mid-race caution flag flew for Joey Logano with 62 laps remaining, Briscoe took the lead on the restart and built a gap. For a stretch, it looked like Briscoe might actually steal it. But Hamlin's number 11 Toyota absolutely came alive on longer green flag runs, eating away at Briscoe's advantage lap by lap, and with about 30 laps left, Hamlin made his decisive move, got clear air in front of him, and never looked back. He crossed the finish line 0.887 seconds ahead of Briscoe, with Eric Jones completing an all-Toyota top 3 by finishing 3rd. Legacy Motor Club, a team that had to race its way into the finale, putting a car in the trophy spots at the Monster Mile. Remarkable. Now about that $1 million. Hamlin told ESPN's Kelly Crandall in his post-race interview that he's giving the money to his mother so she can buy new furniture for her new house. And if that sounds like a simple, casual comment to you, You do not know Denny Hamlin's offseason. In December of last year, his parents' family home was completely destroyed in a fire. His father, Dennis Hamlin, was already dealing with serious health complications before the fire happened. He did not survive. Denny Hamlin has been racing this entire 2020-26 season carrying that weight and winning that $1 million check on a Sunday afternoon at Dover so his mom can furnish a new home and feel a little bit of normalcy again. That is genuinely one of the more human moments this sport has produced in years. The man is 45 years old, driving at an elite level, and using a $1 million race win to take care of his family. But then, because Denny Hamlin cannot have a clean, uncomplicated victory, comes the other side of the story. This win does not count in the official NASCAR record books. Points race wins only. The All-Star Race is an exhibition, and Hamlin's reaction to that? Standing in victory lane at Dover Motor Speedway, he said without hesitation, "This one doesn't count. It's bullshit." Direct quote, no filter, no public relations softening. He has now won 67 total races in NASCAR Cup Series competition across his career, counting the Clash, the All-Star Race, and every other exhibition he has ever taken. The official tally stays at 61 points-paying victories, and with Hamlin openly saying he wants to retire after next season, with the window genuinely closing. Every win that gets erased from the record hits differently. Heather Gibbs, co-owner of Joe Gibbs Racing, made it clear this week that the team considers Hamlin irreplaceable. She described his Monday morning driver meetings as masterclasses for younger teammates like Ty Gibbs. She said the question of who fills the number 11 Toyota when Hamlin is done keeps coming up, and nobody has a real answer. You cannot simply replace what Denny Hamlin does inside a race car and in that garage environment. And Hamlin himself summed up his mindset better than any analyst could. When asked if it felt strange to still be performing at this level at 45 years old while contemporaries like Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, and Jeff Gordon have long since retired, he said, "My ego will not allow me to be mediocre. He expects to win every single week on any track that turns left." He said that, out loud, at a post-race news conference. After winning $1 million, say what you want about Denny Hamlin. Fans have debated this man's legacy for the better part of 2 decades. But Dover's first NASCAR All-Star Race just added another chapter to an already extraordinary story, and that chapter ends with his mom getting new furniture and his car parked in victory lane at the Monster Mile. Next up on the NASCAR calendar, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway for Memorial Day weekend, the longest race in the entire Cup Series season, 600 miles, 360-something laps. Points on the line. Watch how many people suddenly remember that Tyler Reddick has won 5 races this season and currently leads the standings. And watch how many are still talking about number 11. Dover also gave Hamlin something he has chased for years, even if the record book refuses to count it. It gave him a clean ending in a race built to be messy. Think about how many big names were already gone before the final even found its rhythm. Larson was out, Elliott was out, Busch was out, Blaney was out, Bell was out. The field was wounded, angry, and desperate. In that kind of race, the easy thing is to survive and hope the chaos clears a path. Hamlin did more than survive. He controlled the last run like a driver who knew the whole race was coming back to him. Briscoe made him work for it, and that matters because this was not some soft win handed over by a teammate. Hamlin had to chase him, time the run, take the air, and close the door. That is why the moment felt bigger than an exhibition. The money mattered, the family story mattered, but the drive itself also mattered. At 45, with retirement talk getting louder, Hamlin still looked like the man others had to beat.